Good morning, traders. I'm Emily Vani, the CEO of the Investment Banking Institute and your host here at NewsWare's Trade Talk. Joining me is trading anchor Bill Olson, who brings more than 30 years of institutional trading experience to our program. At Trade Talk, we provide the facts, themes, and trading ideas for the day ahead. Today is Monday, January 13th. Investors await key inflation data coming later this week and the kickoff of the first earnings season of 2025. This after markets tumbled on Friday following a hotter than expected jobs report that reignited fears that the Fed will keep rates higher for longer. The Dow crumbled nearly 700 points or 1.63%. The Nasdaq lost 317 points or also 1.63%. The S&P 500 sank 91 points or more than 1.5%. Bill, let's get into a new week with what is happening in the markets this morning.
Yes, good morning, Emily. I'm watching the S&Ps this morning. We're down 0.65%. Okay, we were down lower, so that's actually a little bit positive. But the markets are really reacting to this, increase in Treasury bond yields, and inflation expectations are out there. You do get the PPI report coming in tomorrow, and the CPI is also due this week. But I mean, you look at this divergence between the Fed lowering interest rates and bond yields going up. That's not a great situation. I mean, the market is now pricing in less than 25 basis points in rate cuts for 2025. And remember, the Fed did say, maybe 225, but now market's saying even less than that. Yeah, you're right. Earnings are in focus. We get underway with the fourth quarter earnings season. That starts to begin later this week. But today, listen, let's talk about the semiconductors. They are trading weak. Biden administration released their new AI chip export restrictions this morning. What else? We had China. China's exports came in extremely strong, and that's going to be a source of contention with the Trump administration. I mean, this is like one of the highest numbers we've ever seen from exports, because people were, buying goods out of China before Trump tariffs to take place. So those numbers came in exceedingly strong. But taking a look overseas and the overseas action, we're taking a look at Germany, for example. Germany is down 0.48%. Seeing selling pressure in tech stocks, not to be surprised. FTSE's down, 32 points or 0.4 the economic outlook, is an issue there. Bond yields are rising, and the CAC in Paris is down 0.53%. Luxury stocks are moving lower. We're looking last night in Asia, and the first thing you need to know is that the Nikkei in Japan was closed for a national holiday. So you move over to Hong Kong. Hong Kong dropped 1% with weakness in autos and techs. China dropped, only slightly, 0.25%. China's exports for December, grew 10.7%, which was much bigger than the estimates of 7%. Because people were trying to fulfill those orders before any possible tariffs come their way. Let's take a quick look at oil this morning. Oil is continuing to move higher. We got WTI at $78.09 a barrel. You got Brent at $81.03 a barrel. I mean, the concerns over potential supply disruptions over, the latest sanctions that the U.S. hit Russia with in that energy sector. So, it's continuing to show, push oil prices higher. And you also had that cold snap, winter weather that hit. That didn't help to, deflate prices at all. That actually helped to inflate prices. But, you're up, 1.5% to almost 2% in oil this morning. So, yeah, oil is continuing to trade in the green this morning, Emily.
And Bill, as you mentioned, there's really a number of factors to be keeping track of throughout the week. And while we're surrounded by negative sentiment here in the markets, you're still looking for opportunity and remaining calm amongst that negative sentiment because you're armed with information. And having that information helps you continue to look for opportunities, even when we're swimming in a sea of red. We'll get through some of those details throughout the show today. We'll start with earnings action. It will pick up as we get through the week. Towards the end of the week, we're going to be hearing from the big banks. But in the meantime, Bill, what is going on in terms of earnings action today?
A little light. I mean, nothing significant really today. Shake Shack did report some numbers. It was a preliminary numbers they reported. After this afternoon, after the bell, KB Homes, ticker KBH, they're going to be reporting earnings. EPS is $2.45. Expected move is 7.61%. Now the put to call ratio is 0.57. I mean, looks okay. I don't really love it. I will say that I don't really love KB Homes. But that's really all I have for you for earnings today. I'm a little light.
Well, and as it picks up, we'll be sure to be making those notes for our listeners here on NewsWare's Trade Talk. The other thing that starts out slow on this Monday but picks up throughout the week are economic reports. It did give us a preview what we should be expecting throughout the week, Bill. So give us a rundown of what we should be watching when it comes to economic events.
The calendar's kind of light today, but tomorrow you get the PPI, the Producer Price Index, and then Wednesday is the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, and these two reports are going to be highlighting the week. You also have the retail sales report that for December, which is like a very important economic data point. But other than that, there's nothing really happening today. There's no real big economic reports due out this morning, Emily.
And again, something we will be watching throughout the week and keeping track of for our listeners. And the one area that is not late today are other pieces of market moving information, news and headlines coming out of different sectors and segments. Bill, you're breaking your newsware alerts down into things like merger news, guidance news, shareholders meetings. You're also looking at your stocks grouped together like your FANG stocks and your Dow 30 stocks. So Bill, what else do you see is possibly moving the markets today?
I'm just doing a quick data check, and listen, I got 23 Dow stocks lower, I got 7 higher. That's not really good. UNH is really the big gainer this morning, which is up 2.8%. But I look at my FANG stocks, everything is trading a little lower there. As we get into we look at the reason why some of these stocks are moving, like Apple. There's a survey data out there indicating that Apple's iPhone worldwide market share is at 18% in 2024. Okay. Google, Supreme Court is likely to uphold the law passed by Congress that would require ByteDance to divest its U.S. TikTok business. Now, Meta platforms and Google are the likely benefit because they're going to get increased ad revenue if this occurs. Meta came out on Friday deciding to end their fact checking. Biden came out over the weekend saying that's really shameful. What else do we see here? We're moving over to Dow Jones 30 stocks. We're talking JP Morgan. JP Morgan Healthcare Conference starts today with presentations from Teva, Bristol Myers, and others. This is a big conference. There's a lot of healthcare news that's going to be hitting the tape, this week. That's going to be coming out of this JP Morgan Healthcare Conference. NVIDIA, the White House announced the new AI chip restrictions go into effect this morning. You're seeing NVIDIA down over 3%. Chevron, ticker CVX, Charlie Victor X-ray up over 1%, as oil continues to, push higher. And then you have UNH. I mean, the stock is moving higher this morning. Basically because there was an update on the government payment policies for like Medicare, which is benefiting healthcare insurance stocks like CVS, United Healthcare, Cigna, ticker CI, something to keep in mind of today. In terms of merger news, Johnson & Johnson is acquiring Intracellular for $132 per share in cash. Then you have Sage Therapeutics, ticker SAGE, Sam Applegrace John, Sam Applegrace Edward. Sage Therapeutics confirms that it received a $7.44 per share proposal from Biogen, ticker BIIB. In terms of guidance news, let's start off with Shake Shack, ticker SHAK, Sam, Henry, Apple, Kilo. They see full year 2025 revenue coming in 1.45 billion to 1.48 billion. Street estimate at 1.43 billion. That's an uptick. You got to like Shake Shack on that news. That's HAK. Five Below, ticker FIVE. Five Below sees Q4 adjusted EPS of $3.23 to $3.41. Street estimate is $3.38. Okay, I'll take it. Five Below, not bad. We're talking Moderna, ticker mRNA, Michael Richard Nancy Apple. This is not good. They see full year 2025 revenue 1.5 billion to 2.5 billion. The street estimate headed at 2.94 billion. Ooh, big downtick. Macy's they back their Q4 adjusted EPS view of $1.40 to $1.65. The street estimate's $1.91. That's a big downtick for Macy's, ticker M. As you know, M as in Michael. You're looking at shares of Macy's down 2.78% this morning. Um, then we're talking, shareholders have meetings going on. That big JP Morgan conference, Pfizer's CEO is talking at 12:30. Another one to keep an eye on. Then we're talking Catalyst calls this morning. We're talking Legal Zoom, ticker LZ, Legal Zoom, ticker LZ, Law Zebra. They got upgraded to overweight from underweight by JP Morgan. That's a double upgrade now. Got it like that. 3M, Michael, 3M was named a short-term buy idea by Deutsche Bank. URI, United Rentals, under Richard India. Citibank, they lowered their price target, but they placed the stock on a 90-day positive catalyst watch list. That's what I have for you in terms of news hitting the tape this morning, Emily.
This is the type of data that NewsWare delivers daily. It's factual, it's market moving, and our alerting functions bring it to your attention as it happens. Go to www.newsware.com now and sign up for the trial and see for yourself the benefits that professional Newswire delivers. It is now that time of the show for the Trade Talk pick of the day. Again, even though a little bit of a negative sentiment out there, Bill, you're looking for opportunities. What is your pick of the day today?
I'm going to go with Travelers Group, ticker TRV, Tom, Richard, Victor. These California wildfires are just crushing the insurance company stocks. But I'm looking for a little morning weakness, as an opportunity. I mean, stocks trading 230 to 231, but with this morning weakness, if this stock, weakens further, it will be a good opportunity. You look at Friday's call put volume, uh, 3,952 calls versus 4,062 puts. It's flat. It's not really negative. It's really flat. Call open interest, 6,891 to 4,882. That's positive. So that's kind of good to see. Major brokers do like the stock. They do like the situation. And Travelers Group has been pulling back on their insurance, for catastrophes in California specifically, which, the state is under a little bit of an issue with, insurance issues. But, the stock hit 224.01 already this morning. Now, I don't think it's going to hit that again. But, if it gets to 226, I'll probably, that's my target price, 226. If I see 226 print, I got to go in because I think I can, pull out 1% off of the stock if it comes in that low. There's going to start to be a little turnaround, maybe some positive news on those wildfires. So keep your fingers crossed. Devastating event, but hey, Travelers Group 226 seems like a good price, good entry price to me, Emily.
Travelers Group, it is today. And again, we do have our fingers crossed for some good news that will not only help the stock, but will be good all around, that there's some progress there. And coming up before we sign off, we will do a recap on Friday's pick of the day. So stick with us through that. But first, let's take a look at the current breaking headlines that have hit the tape in our hot off the press segment. Bill, take it away.
Morgan Stanley's out with a note unpacking 4 key economic themes for 2025. Urban Outfitters, ticker URBN, reported holiday sales. Net sales increased 10% year over year. URBN. Yeah, Moderna shares dropped 19% after their 2025 revenue guidance falls below estimates. 5 below. They reported net holiday sales period of 1.19 billion. That's positive. That's an increase of 8.7%. Howard Hughes jumps 10% as Pershing Square proposes an $85 share buyout offer. Pershing Square doesn't have the best track record when it comes to buyouts. Remember JCPenney? They drove that stock from $35 to zero. Papa John's Pizza, ticker P, ZZA, Paul, Zebra, Apple, sees full year 2024 North American comparable sales down 4%. The Sackler family offered to increase the settlement contribution to roughly $6.5 billion. What else do we see? Teva announced semi-exclusive deal, with 2 drug companies. Interesting. Investors are souring on U.S. oil refining sector, citing forecasts for softer fuel demand and worries that President-elect Trump may slap tariffs on imports of crude. That's interesting because that could deflate crude oil prices, which, you see these oil stocks, they've had a nice run over the last week. Abercrombie and Fitch raised their annual net sales growth target for the current quarter, helped by strong demand in its apparel collections during the holiday shopping season. Eli Lilly, the drug maker, said it has sued two medical spas for selling unapproved products claiming to contain, the key ingredients that are found in Zepbound. It's a weight loss drug. Lululemon, the Vancouver-based company, raised its fourth quarter sales and profit targets as a sportswear maker benefited from strong demand from apparel during the holiday shopping season. That's all I'm seeing this morning, Emily.
Okay, Bill, before we dive into another week of trading, let's do a quick check in on Friday's pick of the day, which was Tesla. There's always sort of headlines floating around about Tesla out there, but I did catch this morning that Tesla's price target was raised to $430 from $400 at Morgan Stanley today. Again, sort of price targets, at different spots there, and lots of headlines always sort of focused on Tesla, but you were looking for some weakness in the stock on Friday and looking to get a gain from there. Your strategy is take it and walk away when you see it. It is down sort of hard this morning, but Bill, how did your call work out?
First off, you know who else got a big upgrade this morning? Was Meta Platforms. Wells Fargo gave it a nice strong upgrade. They raised the price target by like 40 points, which I find interesting. But the Tesla trade on Friday worked out very well. I mean, listen, the stock opened up at 391.40, so it was just beautiful. And then it ran all the way up to 399.28. So you easily you were easily in a position to grab your 1% right off that opening price. So, the stock did close at 394.74. It's trading lower today, but on Friday, the 1% was there. You just had to take it off the table and take that money and be happy with it. But Tesla was a winner on Friday, Emily.
An early payday there on Friday, Bill, and we will check in with you tomorrow about today's Travelers Group pick of the day. Bill, thank you as always for your expert insight. Join us back here tomorrow and each weekday morning this week at NewsWare's Trade Talk when we provide the facts, themes, and trading ideas for the day ahead. Again, I'm your host, Emily Vani, here with trading anchor Bill Olson. Traders, you know what to do. Let's go out there and make some green.